Imagine this. She laughs at your jokes. Her eyes linger a little too long. Yet every time you lean closer, she suddenly pulls back. Confusing, right? The truth is, attraction isn't always straightforward. Sometimes, she likes you more than she's willing to admit, and psychology has the receipts to prove it. Stay with me because in the next few minutes, I'll reveal 6 powerful signs she's secretly attracted to you but terrified to let it show. And number 4 is the one most men completely overlook. Now let's dive into the first 2 signs, the hidden behavior patterns that reveal attraction in disguise. These aren't the obvious "she flirts with you" signs. They're subtle, almost contradictory. But once you see them, you'll never unsee them again. Sign 1, the paradox of distance. Here's where it gets interesting. One of the strongest signs a woman is attracted to you is when she creates distance. Sounds backwards, right? But psychology calls this the approach avoidance conflict. It happens when desire collides with fear. Picture this. You're sitting close with her at a gathering. The conversation is flowing. She's smiling. Maybe her hand even brushes against yours. The air feels charged. But just when the moment feels magnetic, she suddenly leans back, crosses her arms, or even excuses herself to grab a drink. To you, it looks like rejection. But what's really happening is her nervous system is overloaded. Her feelings are stronger than she's comfortable with, so she pulls away to regain control. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff. Part of her wants to leap, but another part whispers, "What if I fall? What if I get hurt?" That tension shows up as mixed signals, warmth followed by sudden coldness. Here's the emotional punch. If she truly wasn't interested, she wouldn't need to pull away at all. Indifference doesn't retreat, it just ignores. Distance only matters when closeness was felt first. A friend once told me about a coworker he liked. She'd laugh at all his jokes, sit next to him at lunch, and sometimes even find reasons to ask for his help. But every time he tried to deepen the conversation, she'd go silent or walk away. He thought she wasn't interested, so he backed off. Months later, she confessed she was attracted but terrified of office gossip and rejection. That distance wasn't rejection, it was fear wrapped around desire. And here's the kicker. Many men miss this because they expect attraction to always look like pursuit. But sometimes, attraction hides itself in retreat. Open loop. Hold that thought, because in a moment I'll explain why some of the strongest signs of interest actually look like the exact opposite. Sign 2, the hidden glance. The next hidden pattern is all about the eyes. Human behavior experts say our eyes reveal what our words can't. When we're drawn to someone, our pupils dilate, our gaze lingers, and our attention drifts back to them again and again, even if we try to resist. But here's the catch. When a woman is attracted yet scared to show it, she won't look at you directly for long. Instead, she'll glance when she thinks you're not watching. You might catch her eyes darting away the second you look up. Or maybe you'll notice her studying you through the reflection of a window, the glow of her phone screen, or even across a crowded room. One guy I know shared this moment from a coffee shop. He was working on his laptop when he noticed his crush sitting a few tables away. She barely looked at him directly, but every time he glanced up, he caught her in the reflection of the cafe window, staring for just a second too long before pretending to scroll on her phone. She never approached, never said a word, but her eyes already told the story. That's the hidden glance. It's subtle, quick, and easily dismissed if you're not paying attention. But it's one of the clearest signs that she feels something she's not ready to voice. Here's the emotional twist. The very act of hiding her eyes is proof of intensity. If she felt nothing, she wouldn't care whether you caught her looking. But because she feels something real, her instinct is to cover it. It's attraction camouflaged as avoidance. Now think about this for a second. How many times in your life have you mistaken these behaviors for disinterest? How many times did you walk away from someone who was secretly drawn to you, simply because she was too scared to reveal it? That realization stings, doesn't it? But it also opens your eyes, because now you'll recognize these patterns when they appear again. And here's where it gets tricky. Sometimes the strongest signs of attraction look like rejection, pulling away, avoiding your eyes, leaving the moment hanging. These aren't accidents. They're the unconscious ways her heart says yes, while her fear whispers not yet. I'll break down why this happens in just a moment. But first, let this sink in. Indifference is silent. Attraction, even hidden, always leaves clues. You just have to learn how to see them. Now let's move deeper. We've seen how distance and hidden glances reveal unspoken attraction. But the next two signs dig into something far more raw: the emotional turbulence that happens when attraction collides with fear. This is where human behavior gets messy, vulnerable, and honestly, deeply relatable. Sign 3. Emotional spikes. Have you ever noticed how her mood around you can shift like a storm? One moment she's playful, lighthearted, laughing at everything you say. The next, she's suddenly cold, distant, or even slightly irritated. To most guys, this feels confusing, like she's sending mixed signals. But psychology reveals something powerful here. When attraction collides with fear, emotions spike. This is called emotional inconsistency, and it often shows up when someone feels more than they're ready to admit. Imagine her inner world. Her heart wants closeness, her mind screams caution, and those two forces clash every time she's around you. Here's the key insight. If she didn't care, she'd be neutral. Indifference is steady, flat, unbothered. Emotional turbulence only happens when feelings are strong. Think about it. You don't get flustered around people you don't care about. But the moment someone matters, every word, every look, every silence hits harder. One guy told me about a woman in his friend group. Around everyone else, she was calm, funny, relaxed. But around him, she was unpredictable. Sometimes she teased him endlessly. Sometimes she barely spoke. At first, he thought she disliked him. Years later, she admitted she'd liked him all along but didn't know how to handle her feelings. Her emotions weren't random. They were attraction wrestling with fear. Picture it like a glass of water being shaken. The more energy inside, the more turbulence you see on the surface. That's her emotions. They ripple and spike because the energy between you is real, not fake. And here's the emotional truth. What looks like rejection is often vulnerability in disguise. She's not cold because she doesn't care. She's cold because she cares too much, and she's terrified of what that might mean. Sign 4. Overthinking her words. The next sign is even more subtle, but once you notice it, it's impossible to ignore. When a woman is secretly attracted but scared to show it, her words don't flow naturally. She overthinks everything she says. You'll notice little hesitations. She might start a sentence, stop halfway, and rephrase. Or she'll give short, awkward replies, almost like she's holding back. It doesn't mean she's bored. It means her brain is working overtime to manage her feelings. Here's the psychology. When emotions run high, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, gets overloaded. Attraction creates adrenaline. Adrenaline creates pressure, and under pressure, words stumble. Think of it like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter she tries to grip, the more slips out through the cracks. That's exactly what happens when she tries to control her words. The harder she works to sound casual, the more her pauses, slips, or awkward phrasing reveal what's really going on. A man once told me about a coworker who always seemed quiet around him, even though she was outgoing with everyone else. She'd stumble over small talk, laugh nervously, or cut conversations short. He assumed she wasn't interested. But months later, she admitted she had liked him from the start. She just overthought every interaction, afraid she'd say the wrong thing. Her silence wasn't disinterest. It was pressure, fear, and attraction bundled together. Here's where I want you to pause and really feel this. Behind every cold glance, every awkward silence, every sudden mood swing, there's a person terrified of rejection, terrified of exposing feelings that might not be returned, terrified of being vulnerable in a world that doesn't always handle vulnerability kindly. And isn't that something we can all relate to? Haven't you, at some point, liked someone so much it made you stumble over your words? Haven't you felt that nervous rush that made you act colder than you intended, just to protect yourself? That's what she's going through. And when you understand that, confusion turns into empathy. You stop asking, why is she acting so weird? And start realizing, she's scared because she cares. Now here's where it gets even more fascinating. These emotional spikes and overthinking moments are just the beginning. Because sometimes, the signs of hidden attraction don't just show up in her emotions or words, they show up in the way she manages her image, and even in how she reacts when another woman enters the picture. And trust me, the next two signs might surprise you, because they reveal just how much effort someone will put in to hide a heart that's already exposed. We've seen how distance, hidden glances, emotional spikes, and even overthinking reveal the signs of secret attraction. But now we step into the unspoken truths, the subtle ways she protects her image, and the even subtler ways jealousy leaks through. These are the signs most men overlook, yet they often carry the deepest meaning. Sign 5. Protecting her image. Here's the thing about attraction. It makes people self-conscious. When a woman is secretly drawn to you but scared to show it, she becomes acutely aware of how you see her. Every little detail matters. Her posture, her tone, even the way her hair falls. Watch closely. Around others, she might be relaxed, casual, even unbothered. But when you're near, she starts adjusting herself. She fixes her hair, checks her reflection on her phone, or straightens her clothes. And here's the twist. She's not doing this for the room. She's doing it because you are there. One man shared how he noticed this with a classmate. She'd walk into lectures carefree, hoodie on, hair messy. But whenever she knew she'd be sitting near him, she showed up polished, lip gloss, neat hair, even a subtle fragrance. She never admitted her feelings, but her effort spoke louder than words. And here's where stoic wisdom cuts through. If she didn't care, she wouldn't adjust her hair. People only protect their image when the opinion of the observer matters. It's not vanity, it's vulnerability dressed as presentation. Sign 6. Subtle jealousy. Now let's talk about the most unspoken truth of all, jealousy. When a woman is attracted to you but hiding it, jealousy is often the one crack in her armor